शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये भाग्येशाद्यासमनस्य सर्वार्थानां भक्तिमेव नत्वा कृतकृत्या सुकृतं नमामि गजाननं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजे गुरुर्व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोः भगवतो सदैकसिन्धो रामानुजस्य जन्मं शरणं प्रपद्ये। यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण द्वैतवासना प्रमुच्यते बोधात्मकाय नमस्तस्मै भगवते श्रीरमणमहर्षे। हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तम् आनन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुम् अहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं श्री सत्यसायिनं दोर्भिर्युक्ता चतुर्भिस्फटिकमणिमयीम् अक्षमालां ददानास्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमभिषेकं पुस्तकं चापरेण भासा कुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमणीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं। यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेतसा दासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदस्य रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। वैदेही सहितं सुरुद्रमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितमग्रे वाचयति प्रपञ्चनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलम्। वामे भूमिसुता परश्च हनुमान् पश्चात् सुमित्रा सुतः शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोः वायुवादुकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराट् तारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं रामं भजे श्यामलम्। गुर्वर्ते त्यक्तराज्यो विचरदन्वनं मधुमद्भ्यां प्रियायाः पाणिस्पर्शाक्षमाभ्यां विमृचितपदरुजो योहनीन्द्रानुजाभ्यां महिरूप्या शूर्पणख्या प्रियव्रः वृषारोपितभ्रूविजृम्भत्रस्ताब्धिबद्धसेतु कलदवदघना कौसलेन्द्रोऽवतान्नः। जानकीकान्तस्मरणं जय जय राम राम आंजनेय स्वामी की जय। Ravana goes to see Mārīcā again to get his help to abduct Sitā. He badmouths Rama and says that Rama is somebody that deserves to be punished, and praises Mārīcā by saying there is nobody equal to you in the arts of deception, Maya. Sarvamaya Visharadaha. You are an expert in all kinds of deceitful tricks. Therefore, do this. You take the form of a golden deer. Sauvarnastvam mrigo bhutva chitro rajatabindubihi, with silver spots. A golden deer with silver spots. You go and frolic in the ashrama in front of Sitā. आश्रमे तस्य रामस्य सीतायाः प्रमुखे चर. Go and frolic, play around, gambol around in front of Sitā in the ashrama so that she will be tempted. She will undoubtedly ask her husband to get you. You should do it in such a way that she will be interested in possessing you as the deer. Then when Rama and Lakshmana are sent away to capture you, at that time I will go and capture the Sitā. And because of the sorrow that he will suffer on account of separation from her, when he is weakened, I shall land upon him a fatal blow and strike him down successfully. Ravana comes up with a plan and announces that plan to Mārīcā. When Mārīcā listens to this, Tasya Rāma katham shrutva Mārīcasya mahatmanaha shushkam samavadvaktram paritapta babhuvaha. Tasya Rāma katham shrutva. The moment he heard news about Rama katha, not story of Rama alone, message about Rama, news about Rama, mention of Rama. Rama katham shrutva Mārīcasya mahatmanaha. Mārīcasya mahatmanaha na Sanskrit the correct approach. Mārīcā is not the Mahatma here, Rama is the Mahatma. Rama Mahatma, Amartha Mahatma, Ramasya Katha. Rama Katham Shrutva Mārīcasya Shushkam Samavad Vaktram. Mārīcasya Vaktram Shushkam Samabhavat. Mārīcā's mouth became dry. On listening to Rama's words, Mārīcā's mouth ran dry out of fear. All the saliva evaporated. Mouth became parched. Paritapta, in the heat of the fear of Rama, his mouth dried up. Oshtau parilihya. Oshtau parilihan chushkau. Netrair animishairiva. Oshtau, lips. His lips have become dried. Shushkau, dried lips. Shushkau, Oshtau, Parilihan, he is nervously licking his lips. But you can visualize Mārīcā. The way Valmiki Bhagavan is presenting him, you can visualize what Mārīcā is doing. He became so nervous, his mouth became dry, his lips became dry. He started nervously licking his lips, wetting his lips. And Netraihi Animishairi, eyes without blinking, is staring at Ravana as though he has received a shock. He could not even blink. Mrita bhutaivartastu Rāvaṇam samudaikshatā. Mrita bhutaiva, like the corpse, like a dead body whose eyes are staring unblinking outside. He's looking at Ravana. What is wrong with this fellow? What is he suggesting? Knowing Rama's valor, Rama parakramajnaha, he was a knower of Rama's valor, first-hand experience. He was frightened. Trasta vishanna chetaha, his mind was paralyzed in fear of thinking about Rama. Joining his palms together, he said to Ravana, O king, it is always easy to find people who speak pleasing words to you, flattering words to you, words that you want to hear. Sulabha Purusha Rajan Satatam Priyavadinaha. Priyavadinaha na enartham. Hitavadinaha vera, Priyavadinaha vera. Priyavadinaha na, those who will speak Chakraya Pesharavan artham. Those who will speak pleasing words to you. Whatever you like to hear, they will say all those things to you. Oh, there is nobody like you. You are so intelligent. You are so clever. You are so eloquent. You are so brave. You are so slim. You are so good looking. What is the truth? The complete opposite. What do they lose? They will say nice things about you and go away. What is their problem? If they say something that is not so nice, you will frown at them. They don't want that. They will speak nice things and go. And the Madri, many people can be found. Ana apriyasya tu patyasya vakta shrota chadurlabaha. But in this world, it is always very difficult to find both the speaker and the listener of words that are beneficial, healthy, but unpalatable. Patyamana Vakyam. Patyam, it is appropriate to us, beneficial to us, or capable of doing good to us. But apriya, but unpleasant. We don't like our faults being pointed out. We don't like our plans being dashed. We don't like our hopes being crushed. அந்த மாதிரி யாராவது பேசினா அப்படின்னா we become immediately annoyed with those who speak like that and we say, "Chi, you are a pessimist. Can you not encourage? Can you only speak like this?" And they are realists. They are looking at you and they are saying, giving you good advice. Anna, what happens அப்படின்னா generally we are not in a position to take that. So Mārīcā says, I'm going to tell you something that may not be very pleasing for you to listen to, but it is of good value to you. People like me are rare. Even though you are a mighty king, in order to speak these words to you, I have got to have a lot of courage. More than that, I should be interested in your welfare. If you are capable of listening, listen. You have been misinformed. உனக்கு யார் சொன்னா தெரியாது. I do not know who came and told you all this information about Rama. ஏன்னா இங்கே வந்து நீ பாட்டு சொல்கிற Rama is துஷ்டச்சாரிணஹான்னு சொன்னேன். He is an immoral man, he is an evil man. Rama is a man of evil conduct. Rama is a man, Ajitendriyaha, who is not controlled his senses. Abhinam, all kinds of things you mentioned. I do not know where you got this information from. This much is clear. Your spy system is woefully lacking. Your espionage system is woefully lacking. அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். ஏன்னா அயுக்தச்சாரஹான்னு சொல்றான். நீ அயுக்தச்சாரா. உனக்கு யுக்தர்கள் இல்லை. You do not have appropriate spies. They are not giving you good information. Even if you are getting that information, it is all wrong information. It is more dangerous than no information. Api swasti bhavettat sarvesham bhuvi Rākṣasam abhiramo nasankruddha kuryat lokam Rākṣasam. My dear one, let there be good to all the Rākṣasas in this world. For that, Rama should not be angered, because if Rama is enraged, then there will not be a single Rākṣasa left in this world. Apite jivitantaya notpanna janakatmaja api Sitā nimittam cha na bhaved vyasano mama. I hope Janaka's daughter has not been born in order to put an end to your life. Because this course of action that you are going to undertake will certainly result in Sitā being instrumental in your utter ruin and destruction. Apitvam ishvaram prapya kamavrittam nirankusham na vinashyet puri lanka tvaya sahasa Rākṣasa. I hope that the city of Lanka will remain safe and not be destroyed because of a person like you, who is motivated by desire, by kamavrittam, by lust. Enna twadvidaha kamavritto hi dushīlaha papamantritaha atmanam swajanam rashtram cha raja hanti durmati. Ana mari or raja irundannal, if there is a foolish king like you, if there is a king like you who is addicted to mere pleasure, sensual pleasure, who is of bad conduct, of wicked thoughts, who is advised in wrong ways, then what will happen now? Such a king will destroy himself, he will destroy his people, he will destroy his entire kingdom. Atmanam, Swajanam, Rashtram, Hanti. He will destroy everything. You came and said Rama has been banished by his father in anger. He is a loser. All that is not true. Nacha pitra parityakto na maryadha katanchana na lubdo na cha dushilo na cha kshatriya pamsana na cha dharma gunair hinaha kausalyanandavardhanaha na tikshno na cha bhutanam sarvesham ahiterataha. Ennalam chonnano ellathiyum. Every single quality of Rama that was enumerated by Ravana, each one of those is being taken by Mārīcā, and he's saying na cha pitra parityakta, he was not banished or abandoned by his father. Na maryada katanchana, he has never crossed the limits of dharma ever. Na lubdaha, he is not greedy. Na cha dushilaha, he is not a man of evil conduct. Na cha kshatriya pamsanaha, nor is he a disgrace or to the kshatriya race. Nacha dharma gunair hinaha, he is not somebody who lacks dharmic qualities. Kausalya anandavardhanaha, he is the bringer of delight to Kausalya. Na tikshnaha, he is not harsh. nacha bhutanam sarvesham ahite rataha, nor is he interested in the hurt or harm to all humanity. He is the total opposite of all of this. நான் சொல்றேன் கேளு, நீ ராஜா, உனக்கு தான் எல்லா விஷயமும் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கணும், ஆனால் எனக்கு தான் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு. I do not employ a spy system. You are the one who was the king. You should have a good system of informants. But let me tell you the truth, what has happened. Vanchitam pitaram drishtva kaikeya satyavadinam karishyamiti dharmatma tata pravrajito vanam. When he saw that his father, his truthful father who was given to the truth, Dasharatha, was being deceived by Kaikeyi at that time. Rama, who is a dharmatma, who is the very righteous person, karishyami iti, he himself volunteered, he himself said, I shall make your words come true, I shall go to the forest. Willingly, voluntarily, he came to the forest. Understand? Kaikeya priyakamartam Pitruhu Dasharatasya cha Hitva Rajyam cha Bogams cha Pravishto Dandakavanam, in order to fulfill the desire of Kaikeyi and by extension his father Dasharatha, giving up all the pleasures of the kingdom, he came to the forest. You are saying he is a greedy fellow. You are saying he is a man who does not have his senses under control. He gave up everything and came to the forest. Rāma karkashastata. He is not a harsh person. He is a very gentle person. He is not hard-hearted. Na vidvan na jitendriyaha. Nor is he an ignorant person. Nor is he a murkha. You called him murkha. He does not know anything. He is an unlearned person. Illapa na avidvan. He is not an avidvan. He is a vidvan. On the other hand, he is a knower of everything. Na jitendriyaha. Nor is he somebody who does not have his senses under control. Anritam dushrutam chaiva. It is not proper for you to say all kinds of wrong things. Anritam dushrutam chaiva naivatvam vaktum arhasi. Being misinformed about Rama, you should not go about telling all these wrong things about Rama. People will laugh at you. Enna agum na, people will laugh at you only. When the sun is shining brightly, Aror Bhaya, some fellow, some fool, was told by a bit of a charlatan. He said, you know what is that? That is the moon. That is the moon. But this fellow went and told everybody, no, what is that? Is the moon. That is the moon. What is going to happen? People are only going to laugh at this fool for calling the sun a moon. Nobody is going to say, oh really, I thought it was the sun, correct, yours the moon. Nobody is going to subscribe to his viewpoint when he is saying something that is so blatantly wrong. Naturally they will reject him and make a fool out of him. And if somebody should say Rama is ajitendriyaha, Rama is andrita vachanaha, Rama speaks untruth, Rama is greedy, Rama is uncontrolled of senses, Rama is adharmatma, Rama is adharmic. If somebody should say, the person who is saying will be laughed at. Don't go about saying all these things. Shall I tell you about Rama? Ramo vigrahavan dharma sadhu satya parakramaha raja sarvasya lokasya devanam bhagavaniva. Prasiddhamana shloka. Ramo vigrahavan dharma. Rama is the very incarnation of dharma. Rama is the very personification of dharma. Rama is the very embodiment of dharma. Ramo vigrahavan. Vigraham pannivacha dharma taditor vigraham paninal ad Raman. If you take dharma and make an idol out of dharma, if you melt dharma and cast it into a mold and get an image, get a vigraha, an idol statue made out of it, it will look like Rama. Ramo vigrahavan dharmaha sadhu satya parakramaha. Paramasadhu, pious, gentle, holy, sacred. Satya parakramaha, of true prowess, whose strength is truth. Satya Parakramaha na anarthona. Satya is his Parakrama, his Parakrama is Satya. Appadina anartham. Parakrama na valor, Satya na truth. Truth is his valor is true. Rendu artham. Both the meanings come out of it. His strength is true. That means there is no falsification of his strength. On the other hand, what is his strength? And truth itself is his strength. His adherence to the truth is what is giving him strength. Sadhu Satya Parakramaha Raja Sarvasya Lokasya. He is the real king of all the worlds. The entire world is Ramandan Raja. Rama is the king. Devanam Magavaniva. Just as Indra is the king of all the devas, like that. Ravana has gone and conquered Indra. But even if you have conquered Indra, nobody will call you Devendran. You are only Rākṣasendra. Devendran chonna Indrandane. Even if Indra is dispossessed of his throne, he will still remain the lord and the ruler of the devas. Likewise, even if Rama does not have a throne, he is still Raja Sarvasya Lokasya. He is still the king of all the worlds. That is the reason why Magavan abdina Indra. Magavan is another name for Indra. Magavan Iva abdina you like Indra. Indra, when Ravana has conquered Indra, then how can you call Indra as the king? Because there is a parallel. In a parallel, even though he is being dispossessed of his throne, he is still the king of the Devas. Likewise, even if Rama does not sit upon the throne of Ayodhya, he is still the ruler, not merely of Ayodhya, Sarvasya Lokasya, of all the worlds. Of all the worlds, he is there. As far as Sitā is concerned, let me tell you about Sitā also. Katam tu tasya vaidehi rakshitam svena tejasa ichchasi prasabham hartrum prabhamiva vivasvata. Sitā, as far as Sitā is concerned, Vaidehim Rakshita Svena Tejasa. She is protected not by Rama. She is protected not by Lakshmana. She is protected by her own Tejas, by her own spiritual prowess. Avaluடைய Shakti தான் அவளுக்கு protection. Her own Tapashakti is her protection. When she is surrounded by, protected by, guarded by her own tejas, her own splendor, katam tvam tasya vaidehi rakshitam svena tejasa ichchasi. How can you desire her? How can you desire to prasabham, forcibly hartum, take her away and bring her here? How is it possible for you to do? Yenna Prabhamiva vivasvataha. One cannot take away the radiance of the sun away from the sun. Likewise, you cannot force Sitā to come and become yours when she is protected by her own radiance. You are dabbling with a dangerous couple. A sadharana couple illa. Rama's prowess abdina Sita's prowess. On one side Rama's prowess, on the other side Sita's prowess. Both of them are not any less than the other. Both of them are equally invincible. Adanala Shararchisha Madrishyam Chapa Kadgen Dhanam Rane Ramagnim Sahasa Deeptam Na praveshtum tumarasi. Unconquerable arrows of Rama are flames, are the sparks. His bow and his sword are the fuel. Rane deeptam ramagnim. In the battlefield there will glow a fire. In the battlefield there will be a fire. The fire is called Ramagni, Rama fire. For a fire to glow, it needs fuel. What is the fuel? For this Ramagni, his bow and sword are the fuel, are the sticks that are put into the fire. Adila, what are the sparks that will come out of it? Arrows are the sparks. And those arrows are unconquerable. Nobody can stop those arrows. Abher but a fire, such an extraordinary fire, you should not fall into that fire. Be careful not to fall into that fire, because no matter who you are, when you fall into the fire, you will be burnt. நன்னாதானே இருக்கேன், சந்தோஷமா தானே இருக்கேன், சண்டை ஒன்றும் போட்டுட்டு வரலையே, மந்தோதரி நன்னாதானே வச்சுட்டு இருக்கான், தானியம் நன்னாதானே வச்சுட்டு இருக்கான், அவனுக்கு என்ன கொள்ள. All your wives are dear to you, they are loving you, they are keeping you happy. Then why this kind of stupid behavior for you? Why should you unnecessarily go and fall into the mouth of Yama when you are happy here, when you have got a good life, when you have a life of happiness, giving up your dear life, உனக்கு பிடிச்சமான உன்னுடைய ராஜ்யம் சுகம் எல்லாத்தையும் தந்தியஜ்ய ஜீவிதம் சேஷ்டா ஆத்மனஹா, giving up your life, giving up your happiness, giving up your kingdom, ராஜ்யம் சுகம் ஜீவிதம் எல்லாம் சந்தியஜ்ய அப்படின்னு சொன்னான். ராஜ்யம் சுகம் ஜீவிதம் மூணு சொன்னா இல்லையா? பவத் கதம் ஹிமே ராஜ்யம் ஜீவிதானி சுகானி ச அப்படின்னு விபீஷணா is going to come and say ராஜ்யம் சுகம் ஜீவிதம் மூணு சொல்ல போறான். ஹே ராமா, I have surrendered to you my ராஜ்யம், my kingdom, my ஜீவிதம், my life, my சுகா, my happiness. விபீஷன் என்ன சொல்றானோ அதை மாரீச்ச நீங்க சொல்லி கொடுக்குறான். மாரீச்சா telling Ravana, why are you sacrificing ராஜ்யம் சுகம் cha santyajya jeevitam jeshtamatmanaha? Why are you giving up all these things? என்னதுக்கு போ, சந்தோஷமா இருங்க, போய் go live happily. அப்ரமேயம் ஹி தத்தேஜோ யஸ்ய சா ஜனகாத்மஜா நத்வம் சமர்த்தஸ்தாம் ஹர்த்தும் ராம சாபாஸ்ரயம் வனே. He to whom Sitā belongs, he whose is Sitā, Rama, whose property, whose wife, whose beloved is Sitā, his power, his prowess is immeasurable, aprameya. You cannot gauge the depth of it. In fact, if I should tell you plain speaking, you are simply not competent enough to go and kidnap her and come. அப்படினே சொல்லிட்டா. நத்வம் சமர்த்தஸ்தாம் ஹர்த்தும். As long as Rama is protecting her, you do not have any skill, any capacity to go and bring her away. You cannot face Rama. சொல்லிட்டா, you cannot face Rama. தஸ்ய சா நரசிம்ஹஸ்ய சிம்ஹோரஸ்கஸ்ய பாமினி பிராணேभ्योऽपि प्रियतरा भार्या नित्यमनुव्रता. Rama is a Narasimha. திருப்பி சொல்றான், ராமன் நரசிம்மன், ராமன் நரசிம்மன், ராமன் நரசிம்மன். Rama is நரசிம்ஹா. பூர்வாவதாரத்துல நரசிம்மன், இந்த அவதாரத்துல ராமன். நீ போன ஜென்மத்துல ஹிரண்யகசிபு, இந்த ஜென்மத்துல நீ ராவணன். அதனால இதுக்கு தீனிக்கு தீனி மேட்ச் தி ஃபாலோயிங் பண்ணுவா இல்லையா? இங்கேருந்து அங்கே இங்கேருந்து கோடு போடுவோமோ இல்லையோ ஸ்கூல்ல. Match the following அப்படின்னு we will draw lines from column A to column B. அந்த மாதிரி column A நரசிம்ஹா ஹிரண்யகசிபு, column B ராவணா ராமா அப்படின்னு இங்கேருந்து ஒரு கோடு அங்கேருந்து ஒரு கோடு. Here line drawing, here line drawing. தஸ்ய சா நரசிம்ஹஸ்ய சிம்ஹோரஸ்கஸ்ய பாமினி. She belongs to him of the lion shouldered lion. சிம்ஹோரஸ்க அப்படின்னா lion, his chest is like that of a lion. The lion chested Narasimha, lion, man lion. She is dearer to him than his life itself. Hena, why அப்படினா நித்யமனுவ்ரதா, because she is loyal to him, follows him all the time கர்தனால she is very dear to him. நசா தர்ஷயிது ஷக்யா मैथिल्योजस्विनः प्रिया दीप्तस्येव हुताशस्य शिखा सीता सुमध्यमा. That Sita, who is the beloved of mighty Rama, she is like the leaping flames of a blazing fire, and you cannot touch her, you cannot afford to touch her, you will be burnt otherwise. உனக்கு என்னத்துக்கு இந்த விபரீத புத்தி? Kim udyamamimam vyartham. What is the use of this futile endeavor that you are going to enter upon? The moment Rama looks at you, Rama sees you, Rama catches you, you are dead, you are finished. அதனால ஜீவிதம் ச சுகம் சைவ ராஜ்யம் சைவ சுதுர்லபம் எதி இச்சசி சிரம் போக்தும் மா கிருதா ராம விப்ரியம். Therefore, if you want to enjoy your life, if you want to enjoy your happiness, if you want to enjoy your kingdom, which are all very difficult for you to appropriate, but difficult for you to get, சுதுர்லபம், ஈஸியாக வராது, எல்லாம் கிடைச்சிடுது. You got everything. You got everything that you can ask for. Leaving all of that, don't unnecessarily go and do something that will bring displeasure to Rama. Otherwise, you have to face his wrath. அதனால பண்ணாதே, வேண்டாம். Don't do it. நான் சொன்னேன் மாத்திரம் பார்க்காதே. Just because I have said this, don't go only by my words. நீ என்ன பண்ணு, நீ போய் உங்க ஊருக்கு போய், go home. சர்வை சச்சிவை சார்தம் விபீஷண புரோகமைஹி, go and consult with all your ministers led by Vibhishana. மாரீச்சனுக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும். என்னன்னா, everybody knows about Vibhishana's greatness. ஏன்னா தர்மம்னு ஒன்று இருந்தது அப்படின்னா, who will not respect dharma? Who cannot respect dharma? Even the most adharmi will have to respect dharma, and the ones who are dharmic, he may not follow it, but he will have to respect it. Everybody in Lanka also knows. They will say Vibhishana kuda everybody knows Parama Dharmatma. When real advice is required, where should you go? You should go to only Dharmatma, Vibhishana. Everybody knows. Mārīcā says, go to all those ministers that are headed by Vibhishana. They have two gangs of ministers in Ravana's court. Oru goshti Ravana ki jai nu sollite kidakum. Oru goshti will always sing praises of Ravana. Whatever Ravana says, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, appdi sollite 3 bags full sollite irukum. The other goshti is there. There is another group of people. Those are the ones that will caution against wrongdoing and always counsel only dharma. They are headed by Vibhishana. Adanala chana Vibhishana purogamaihi. Vibhishana got to make it. Vibhishana enna solranu kelu. Go ask Vibhishana what he says. After that, you take a decision. Assess the strength and the weaknesses of both yourself and your enemy. Adukapram you decide what should be done. Know your strength, know your enemy. Only then you can conquer him. Illaya? Inge paatha, know your strength அப்படினா 0, know his strength அப்படினா 100, know your weakness அப்படினா 100, know his weakness அப்படினா 0. அப்படிங்கிறதுனால சர்வதா you will lose. This mathematics is very clear. Therefore, consulting all of them, you do what is proper. But don't unnecessarily go and confront him. Ravana looking at him askance, how do you know all of these things? I have not seen Rama, whatever I heard. I said, you saying so much as though you are constantly following him, tapping into his phone lines, hacking into his computer. How do you know everything about him? Mārīcā reveals his past connection with Rama. Like a mountain I was. எப்படி இருந்தேன்னா எப்படி ஆயிட்டேன் பார். எப்படி இருந்தேன் தெரியுமா? மாலா மாதிரி இருந்தேன். I was like a mountain. நாகசகஸ்ரஸ்ய பலம் நாகசகஸ்ரஸ்ய தாரண்ய பர்வதோபமஹ. I had the strength of 1000 elephants. என்ன போய் மானாப்போன்னு சொல்றது? என்ன அவமானம்! எப்பேற்பட்ட அவமானம்! என்ன யான பலம் பொருந்திய என்ன போய் 1000 யான பலம் பொருந்திய என்ன போய் மானாக போ அப்படின்னு சொல்றதை விட எனக்கு ஒரு அவமானம் உண்டோ? With the strength of 1000 elephants, like another mountain, I was roaming around, spear in hand, like a dark rain cloud, with bright gold earrings in my ear, looking like a lightning flashing. I was roaming around Dandakaranya forest. Rishigalella shopped under me. I used to eat rishis for breakfast. Afraid of me, the great sage Vishwamitra Mahamuni became afraid of me and went to Dasharatha Maharaja and said, Adya rakshatumam Rama parvakale samahita Mārīcā me bhayam goram samutpannam nareshwara. This is a kadavudra. Mārīcā kadavudra paru. Mārīcā is spinning a story. He is telling Ravana don't spin stories. He is spinning a story. When I was going around causing so much of terror, Vishwamitra became afraid of me. He went to Dasharatha and said, Mārīcā me bhayam goram samutpannam nareshwara. O king, because of Mārīcā, great fear has come into my heart. Vishwamitra சொல்றாராம். Vishwamitra is going and telling Dasharatha, because of Mārīcā, great fear has come into my heart. Adhanala I want Rama. Send your son Rama with me. Appadi nodane. Balo, ivan koyantha chami. Balaha, he is a small boy. Bala, the boy, English word boy comes from Bala. Balaha, Dvadasha varshoyam. He is 12 years old. Ange charche una dvadasha varsha, una shodasha varsha apdi. Less than 16 apdi. How much exactly less than 16 and 12 ni solra indha. Mārīcā solra. Who knows best? Mārīcā definitely knows. About Rama, he knows all the details. Skeletal age, dental age, all three. Dvadasha varshoyam. He is only 12 years old. Akritastrascha Rāghavaha. He is not well versed in all the astras yet. I will come with you. I shall come with you. With a fourfold army, I will come with you. When Dasharatha offered, at that time the Rishi said, no, only Rama. Rama, no one else. He took Rama and came back to the ashrama. And Rama stood there protecting the yajna. I came there and looked at him. But as usual, I came there to Vishwamitra ashrama in order to wreak havoc over there. When I suddenly saw a young boy, Ajatavyanjana Srimad Padmapatra Nivekshanaha Yekavastradaro Dhanvi Shiki Kanakamalaya Shobhayan Dandakaranyo Deeptena Svena Tejasa Adrishyata Tato Ramo Balachandra Yoditaha. Whenever everybody starts to praise Rama, it is like a bhajan. Ajatavyanjana. Beard lesson artham. His beard has not yet grown. Small boy, 12-year-old boy. He has not even sprouted any facial hair. Hairless boy, boy who has not even grown his hair. His facial hair is not, fuzz also not sprouted. He has not even touched puberty. A small beautiful child. Child marriage. 12-year-old lad who has not even sprouted a beard. Ajatavyanjanaha Shriman Sarvashrivam gata porundi irukku. All kinds of handsomeness, all beauty, everything is enshrined in him. Shriman Ramana Pathutal avan kanna paakame yaaralayum irukka mudiyum maatengirudhu paathala. Whoever it is, if they look at Rama, Padma Patra Nivekshanaha, lotus like eyes, lotus like eyes, lotus like eyes, lotus like eyes. Whether it is Shurpanakha, whether it is Vishwamitra, whether it is Janaka Maharaja, whether it is Mārīcā, no matter who it is, everybody has to comment about Rama's eyes. Pure attractive eyes. Padma Patra Nivekshanaha, Ekavastradharaha, clad in a single garment. Ekavastram Bodundana Brahmachari Nartham. Ekavastradharana Brahmachari Nartham Vena. Grahasthas will wear two sets of clothes. They will have a dhoti and an angavastram. Panchakachamum, angavastramum irukkum. Grahasthas are allowed to have a panchakacham, the dhoti around the waist, and the angavastram, the upper cloth. Brahmacharis will have only a 4 muzha thundu dhaan idupla kattikkanum, arela kattikkanum. அதனால ஏகவஸ்திரதரஹா பிரம்மச்சாரியா நின்றுருக்கான் ராமன். தன்வி with bow in hand. Shiki குடுமி வச்சிருக்கான் காகபக்ஷதரம். Shiki with his top knot on his head. கனகமாலயா ஒரே ஒரு கோல்டு செயின் கழுத்துல, மைனர் செயின் அப்படின்பா இல்லையா, அந்த காலத்துல மைனர் செயின் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. மைனர் தானே ராமன், 12 வயசு தானே. அதான் ஒரே ஒரு செயின், ஒரு சிங்கிள் கோல்டு செயின் அரவுண்ட் ஹிஸ் பியூட்டிஃபுல் நெக். Shobhayan அப்படின்னு ஜொலிக்கிறான் ராமன். அவ்வளோ அழகா பியூட்டிஃபையிங்னு அர்த்தம். Shobhayan அப்படின்னா பியூட்டிஃபையிங். Tandakaranyam. The dense forest was beautified by Rama standing there. Deeptena svena tejasa, by the light of his own power, by the light of his own spirituality, by the light of his own radiance, he was beautifying all of the forest. Adrishyata tato Ramo Balachandraivoditaha. Like a young moon that has risen, Balachandra Ivoditaha, like a young moon that has just risen, Rama was standing. Like this, when I saw Rama, I had a lot of boons that gave me tremendous powers, so I did not bother. I saw a young boy. And I thought it was only a young boy. And when Rama looked at me, Mam tu drishtva danusajjama asambrantaschakarasa. As I came roaring with like a big dark rain cloud, he looked at me unperturbed. Adiliye I became perturbed. When I am coming like that, everybody will be screaming. Everybody else will be trembling. But this young boy of 12 years looking at me, he's just looking at me as though he is gone sightseeing. Unperturbed gaze. Asambrantaha. I underestimated him. I didn't give any importance to him. Avajananne. Adanala, I rushed towards him. ஒரே ஒரு sharp arrow தான். ஒரே ஒரு arrow. Rama released one sharp arrow which struck me and threw me at a distance of 100 yojanas into the sea. But let me clarify a point. Let me make it clear to you. Rama did not miss. Rama did not fail in killing me. Yenna Nechatatatamamantum tada virena rakshitaha. He did not desire to kill me. Therefore, he protected me. He saved me. Tada virena rakshitaha Ramasya sharavegena nirastohamachetanaha. I was only merely injured. I fainted. I fell out of consciousness when I fell into the ocean. But I was not killed by Rama because he did not desire to kill me. Icchatan. But he did not intend to kill me. Otherwise, if he wanted to kill me, I would have been finished. If you are asking how, I did not go alone. Another boy came along with me. Subahu. Terimo, Edite, Shotramagataha. You must have heard of Subahu. அவனை பற்றி RIP தான் சொல்லுவா. சுபாஹு ரெஸ்ட் இன் பீஸ் அப்படின்னு. ஏன்னா ஆளு காணும். ஒரே ஆரோ தான், அவனுக்கு ஒரு ஆரோ தான், one arrow only. In one arrow, Subahu's katha was finished. Subahu's story was finished. Mine ... to be continued. அப்படின்னு ஏன் வந்தது அப்படின்னால், the reason why I am still alive to be continued is because Rama did not wish to kill me that time. Otherwise, we wanted to, I would have also been full stop. Not ... In this manner, Yevamasmi tada mukta sahayastu nipatitaha akritastrena balena ramena aklishta karmana. This Rama, who was a young boy who was not yet versed in the art of archery, only the previous day, Vishwamitra sat down and gave some mantras to him, some astras. Here are astras. He has not even learnt all the names of the astras. He was able to finish all of us. This I am talking about nearly 22 odd years ago. 22-24 years ago kada. Enna appa Rama was 12 years old. Adhikapuram Rama lived in Ayodhya for 12 years. Adhikapuram Rama has come to the forest for about 10 years. Abdina 12 plus 10 or 22 years have elapsed since 12-year-old Rama battled me. If a 12-year-old boy who was not yet well versed in art of archery was able to deal with me in this manner, I shudder to think what he has evolved into. The boy is no longer a boy, he's grown, he's become a man. Now, how will that man be? We just saw, you only came and told me how the prowess of that man is. 14,000 Rākṣasas, Kara, Dushana, Trishiras, Ellam finish. Even after my warning, if you go and pick up a fight with Rama, you will face a dreadful calamity. Goram Kshipram Apadam Karishyasyapadam Goram Kshipram Prapsyasi Ravana. You will very soon attain a terrible calamity if you will go in spite of my words. You will invite disaster upon all the Rākṣasas. You will bring grief and disaster to the lives of all the Rākṣasas. Allah celebrate Panintrupa. Happy Rākṣasas, they are living happily. All that will be gone away. You will see city of Lanka ruined for the sake of Sitā. If you go and do this deed for the sake of Sitā, Lanka will be ruined. Even if a person does not commit any sin, if you keep company of the sinners itself, it is enough to ruin you. Like that, because all the people of Lanka keep your company, they will all be ruined because of the sin that you commit. Is this what you want to see? There is no greater sin. Paradara vimarshatu nanyat papataram mahat pramadhanam sahasrancha tavarajal parigraha. When I listen to this, when I read these kind of shlokas, where what value was given so much importance? Respecting a woman, respecting the dignity of a woman, respecting the right of a woman is given so much importance, so much so that Mārīcā tells Rāvaṇa, disrespecting a woman, causing harm to a woman, desiring the wife of another, there is no greater sin than this. When you see sometimes the kind of horror stories that come out of India about the ill treatment of women, Ramayana Nadalyo, Ramayana Bhumi. Is this not the land of Ramayana? How have we deteriorated so much? Rāvaṇa, Rāmar Mari, Rāvaṇa Prakritikala. Instead of taking Rama as the ideal, what is the use of taking Rāvaṇa as the ideal? That is what, at least everywhere Ramayana should be heard. It is being heard, but more and more Ramayana should be heard so that people get these kind of values instilled in them. There is no greater sin than the sin of coveting the wife of another. Paradara vimarshatu na anyat papataram mahat. There is no greater sin. If you commit that sin, then you will ruin yourself, you will ruin Lanka, you will ruin all the Rākṣasas who are dependent upon you. Adanala, don't do this. Bhavasvadhar niratas tvakulam Rākṣasa manamriddhim cha rajyam cha jivitam cheshtam atmanaha. Therefore, you enjoy your life with your wives. You protect your race. You protect your prestige. You protect your kingdom, your prosperity, and your own life. Do not create enmity with Rama. In spite of my friendly warning that I have given to you, I have a friendly warning. Suhrudana. Suhruda Maya. Brisham, but forcibly I have told you, I have warned you, in so many ways I have warned you because I wish your welfare. In spite of all of this, if you disregard my words and go and abduct Sitā or end up creating an enmity with Rama, then your life will be drained away by the arrows of Rama. You will certainly go to Yamalayam, you will go to Yama's Yamakshayam Gamishyas. You will go to Yama's abode, the abode of God of death. Mārīcā சொல்றான். இன்னும் add பண்றான். Just in case Ravana is not convinced, Mārīcā adds another story. He says, recently, the old story when I encountered Rama happened a long time ago. But just recently, for excursion, I was staying here all the time. I was sort of feeling locked down in my island, in my ashrama. I thought, Publicly you can gather with 2 other people. Along with 2 other Rākṣasas, I went around to Dandakaranya. Chuma around Balan, I went to Dandakaranya for a walk. Taking the form of a deer, I went so that nobody will catch me. Mask along podu vanda. If I take the form of a deer, I don't have to wear a mask. Adanal I went in the form of a deer, I went around roaming around Dandakaranya. Enna mari deer appadina, idu oru carnivorous deer. I had a flaming red tongue, big body, sharp teeth. I was Mamsabakshaha, Mahamrigaha, a very animal which eats all kinds of other animals. Apdiya vesham podu na poyindu irundhen. I was going around everywhere, drinking the blood of all the rishis in Dandakaranya. I was wandering around. நான் அப்பப்போ தாகம் எடுத்தேன்னா அந்த கேஃபேல போய் காஃபி சாப்பிடுவோம் இல்லையா, வாக் போகிறச்சேன். நம்ம ஆத்து பக்கத்தில் ஒரு பார்க் இருக்குது. There is a botanical gardens near our house. So in the mornings, when you go for a walk, you see there's a cafe and a lot of people drinking coffee. வந்தது வாக்கு தானே, நடக்க வேண்டியது தானே, எந்த காப்பி என்ன, அப்புறம் மஃபின் வேறு பக்கத்தில், அப்புறம் வாக்குக்கு பிரயோஜனமாக கொடுத்து மஃபின் ஒரு பக்கம் மஃபினை திண்டு காப்பி குடிச்சுட்டு வாக்கு போனால் என்னத்துக்கு வாக்கு, நீ ஆத்திலே இருக்கலாமே, மஃபினாக சாப்பிடாமல் இருப்பேன். They come for a walk, then they buy a muffin, then they buy a coffee, then no, the walk is defeated. You can stay at home instead. அந்த மாதிரி போயிருக்கான் அந்த பையன். Mārīcā also gone in the same way. He's gone for a walk. அங்கங்க அப்பப்போ whenever he feels thirsty, he will drink the blood of some rishi. When he's hungry, he will make rishi muffin and have it. இப்படியா சாப்பிட்டு குடிச்சுட்டு போயிட்டு இருந்தேன். அந்த டயத்தில் I suddenly encountered Rāma, who was there with Lakshmana and Sitā. Rāma was living on a restricted diet. நேதாஹாரம், இந்த குண்டை சாப்பிட்டு கொழுத்து கிடக்கல, ஒல்லியாக தான் இருக்கார் ராமர். I saw Rāma, he was still thin only. ஆனால் என்ன ஸ்ட்ரென்த்துங்கிற. Even then he had so much strength. Treating him as a mere tapasvi living in the forest without any strength, remembering my old hostility, enmity with him, I ran towards him angrily in the form of an animal in order to kill him. As a deer, I went to gore him. At that time, looking at me, he did not know who I was, but he thought I was some animal, maddened animal running berserk, coming to attack him. Adanala, he took his bow and arrow and sent Trayabhanaha, 3 arrows he sent towards me. Zak, and the 3 arrows that could destroy the enemy came. All 3 of them tightly together. One arrow, half an hour gets another arrow. The arrows came in quick succession, so that you could not separate the 3 arrows. The 3 arrows came as though together. All at once they came. Even though 3 arrows were reached, by the time they came, everything caught up with each other and they came at the same time. ஏன் 3 arrows na? ஏன்னா நாங்கள் 3 பசங்க போனோம் இல்லையோ, we were 3 fellows who went இல்லையா, அதனால 3 arrows. எனக்கு மாத்திரம்னா 3 arrows தேவையில்லை. One fellow, I do not deserve 3 arrows, because 3 of us went, 3 arrows. When 3 arrows came, I immediately remembered the last arrow. அதனால then and there, abandoning these 2 fellows, I ran away. पराक्रमज्ञो रामस्य शठो दृष्ट भयपुरा शठः அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். அப்படின்னா I was deceitful அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். அவளை ஏமாத்திட்டு ஓடி பண்ணி இவன் கூட்டின்னு போயிருக்கான். அவளை டே அந்த பையன் ராமன் இருக்கான் பாருடா, சின்னுடுவோண்டா, அவன் ஒன்றும் பசி பட்டினியில் கிடக்கான். That fellow Rama is hungry, he is emaciated, he is weak, he is a right time, he is a useless fellow, we will eat him, there are 3 of them, each of them we will have one. அப்படின்னு I took these fellows and went. அதுக்கப்புறம் the moment I saw Rama's arrow, I remembered the old arrow. எப்போ ஃப்ரெண்டாவது I abandoned all of them and I ran away. Those poor fellows, 2 fellows, they died. ராட்சசௌ ஹதௌ அப்படின்னா நான் அங்கேருந்து எடுத்தா உடனே சாய்ராம்னு ஓடிட்டேன், இதுக்கு 2 செத்து கொடுத்துருக்கேன். And the man next to me was shot dead அப்படின்னா அவன் செத்து போட்டான். There were arrows to my right, arrows to my left, arrows everywhere. I said, Ram, Ram. And the fellows next to me died. I escaped. அவன் நான் ஓடி வந்துட்டேன், தப்பிச்சுட்டேன் நான். அதனால शरेण मुक्तो रामस्य कथंचित् प्राप्य जीवितं इह प्रव्राजितो युक्तस्तापसोऽहं समाहितः. அதனால somehow given a second lease of life, third lease of life by Rama's arrow. இவன் விட்டு வைக்கணும் ராமர் விட்டு வச்சுட்டே இருக்கார் பார்த்தா. இவன் வந்தாலே இவனை ஒரு Rama's arrows are அமோகம். அமோகமான் அப்படின்னா it never fail, unfailing arrows of Rama. Once he shoots them அப்படின்னா then somebody escapes ங்கிற கான்செப்டே கிடையாது. Only one fellow has escaped in the history. யார் Mārīcā தான். Twice he escaped. Twice Mārīcā escaped only because Rama did not desire to kill him. Kalambada odran to Rama only chased him away. This is not the time. You have to come finally as a deer to entice me away from the ashrama. That is your goal. That is your role. At that time I will kill you. Until then you alone. You can escape me. And surely Rama sent me away. அப்படின்னு சொல்றான். இங்க நிறுத்திக்கிறோம். We will stop here for today. And tomorrow we will continue with Mārīcā's further words about how he is living in the fear of Rama. Janaki Kanta Smaranam Jai Jai Rama Ram Anjaneya Swami Ki Jai. Sarve Bhavatu Sukhino Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Vishyantu Bhagavata Bhagavata Veda Lokasmasthaskino Lokasmasthaskino Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Sai Shri Ram